Hey, you two, welcome back to part two of the NFL football season preview. So, we have already discussed all of those teams in the AFC. So, I posted all those videos already to YouTube. I've seen a bunch of views already, which I am loving. I'm seeing that we also had an increase of 2 subscribers in the last couple days, so that is terrific. So, we're up to 73 with the goal to get to 100. So, let's keep it cooking, guys. So, we're going to switch gears and talk about the other half of the NFL, which will be the NFC conference, and we're going to start off with the NFC South, which is arguably the weakest division in all of football, and arguably definitely at least on the NFC side. But that will be featuring the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers, and the New Orleans Saints. So just like we did with a couple of the divisions, we're going to start with the first place team from a year ago, which will be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This team has done a lot of good. It's just been marred by an extremely weak division each of the last 4 seasons. So let's go ahead and delve into this team here. So Todd Bowles is going to be in his fourth season there in Tampa Bay. Um, to be perfectly honest, this team has been competitive. I mean, they had a significantly solid season a year ago, finishing 10-7. They had some. They looked great on offense with Baker Mayfield running looking like a high quality quarterback, and then they end up running to the Washington Redskins. I mean, I'm sorry, not the Redskins, the Commanders. Forgive me there. Ran to the Commanders in the wild card round, and they kind of just ruined their season completely. So if we look at their key stars, it's going to be Baker Mayfield once again at the quarterback position. To say the least, it is one of his best seasons he's had as a pro. Will be an understatement. He had 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, but he did have 16 interceptions, with some of them coming in the most costly moments, namely in that playoff game against the Commanders. But if we continue to look down the depth chart there, Bucky Irving had a standout rookie season. He'll be in his second year. He had over 1,100 yards rushing, along with 8 tutties. And then, of course, the constant that has always been in Tampa Bay for is Mike Evans. He'll be their number one wide receiver once again this year. And then Chris Godwin. And then they did get out and draft Emeka Ibuka, the number 2 wide receiver out of Ohio State in the draft. It also has Sterling Shepard there. And then Kate Otten there at the tight end. And then, namely, Tristan Wirfs is their featured lineman there on the offensive line. On the defensive side, Vita Vea and Levante David. Levante David will be starting his 14th season in the NFL, along with Hassan Reddick and Antoine Winfield Jr., and then Jamel Dean, who did end up on the IR a season ago, but looking to get back to his old self starting in his 7th season. But overall, 318, 457, and 1 tie all time for Tampa Bay, and that'll be a 41% win percentage. And they have a losing record against all of the division. So, to be perfectly honest, I think this year it could be just as good as last season, but hopefully with a little more better success than they did a year ago. So let's go ahead and delve into that schedule. So, yeah, last year, of course, 10-7, lost to Washington there in the wild card round. The over under this season is going to be 9.5 wins. So they will be continuing to play a first place schedule as they have won the division the last couple of seasons. So that is going to include some marquee matchups against the Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to include a game against the Detroit Lions on Monday Night Football, Houston on Monday night, and then they got to play at Buffalo, which is going to be fun for everyone. Now, to start off the season, I do have them losing an opening weekend against the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. I think that's going to be like the head scratching game of the weekend. But then after that, I have them winning 4 of their next 5, heading into that star-studded showdown at Detroit on Monday Night Football in Week 7. I had the Lions winning that one, and then they're going to beat New Orleans, so they will be 5-3 by the time they hit that Week 9 bye week. After that, I haven't beaten New England. I haven't beaten Arizona. New Orleans is going off the floor with them. Carolina, Atlanta again, and then Miami. But I do have them stumbling in back-to-back weeks in Week 11 and 12 about again at Buffalo and at the Rams. I think it's going to be difficult for both of them, especially I think they do not match up well against the Rams. I do not think they definitely do not match up well against Buffalo. But after that, they'll go on that 5-game winning streak. They'll rest their starts in Week 18 and go 11-6. They will win the division once again, and they will unfortunately lose in the wild card round. At least that's what I'm projecting this year. But 11-6 overall for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which would be a 1-game improvement from a season ago. But I just think it's going to end with another heartbreaking loss in the wild card round at home once again. Alright, so this has been my wrap on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 11-6 overall. The next video we're going to make is going to be discussing the second place team from a season ago, which will be the Atlanta Falcons, which we've got a lot to talk about with Atlanta. But until then, this is your man Dylan signing off about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll see you in the next video.